All right, let's talk about the Guardians. It's so funny how when we look at the season and how it unfolds, we always sort of discount the first quarter of the season at the end of the season. It's fun to look back and say, well, yeah, the Pirates ended up being who we thought they would be.
Right.
And there are a lot of folks around Major League Baseball who are saying that right now about the Cleveland Guardians. Nope, smoke and mirrors. They can't keep it up. We're into the second quarter of the season now, and here they are. I think they have the third best record in all of baseball, winning percentage-wise. ESPN has them in their most recent power rankings as the number 5 ranked team. Bull, is that too high, too low, or just right?
I think it's perfect. I do think the 4 teams ahead of them, even though the Dodgers and maybe the Orioles actually have a slightly worse record.
They do.
Those teams are better. Those are better baseball teams than the Guardians. But I don't think there's anybody else that's clearly better than the Guardians. And the Guardians have played better than the Dodgers and better than the Orioles. The Orioles had played great earlier in the season. They haven't played quite as well lately. I did not think, listen, I thought the Guardians would be a solid team this year. I thought they'd be better than last year, but I didn't think they'd be anywhere close to this good. They've been phenomenal. Yes, there are some things like a Ben Lively and maybe David Fry that could collapse for them at some point. But there's not that many guys, if you really look at it, playing much better than they expected. Those are the 2 that are noticed.
This is the season I expected last year.
Yes.
And it didn't happen.
I don't even know if I expected it to be this good last year. I mean, I expected it to be good, but they're playing at a pace to win 100 games.
They are, and that's a surprise. And they've got another team in their division that is also playing on a 100-win pace.
Yes.
Which could make this summer just absolutely fascinating. The Braves, I would have had ahead of the Guardians, but with the Acuna injury now, I mean,
they've also lost their best pitcher.
Yes, they've been riddled with stuff. So now you look at them and say, you know what? I think if you're just comparing the 2, the Guardians and the Braves, I feel comfortable putting the Guardians
right now.
up there.
The Braves might be better by the end of the year, but right now, definitely.
And I know the drum that you've been beating, and I'm on it too. This trade season for the Guardians is going to be critical. There are pieces in this team that are woefully underachieving.
Yes.
We're not getting a ton out of center field, shortstop, and catcher. That's up the middle when Bo Naylor's catching.
Right.
I don't know how attractive Arias and Naylor would be in trades. I think they would have been much more popular in trades 2 years ago before we've seen kind of with this extended playing time what they are. But they've got some pieces that could bring some real talent to Cleveland to help in this stretch run. And I hope they make moves, because we could make an October run with this roster.
I look at the Orioles, and you said it. The Guardians are playing better than the Orioles right now. And if you look at a series, I would feel comfortable going into a series playing against the Orioles, right? And the other 2 teams, you talk about what the Dodgers and the Phillies are in the National League. So if you look at it, basically what they're saying is the Guardians right now are one of the best teams in the American League to have a shot to get to the World Series. You look at the Yankees, they can hit the ball, they're playing well. But listen, if you put us in a series with some of those teams, I like the chances with Guardians, especially because they're hitting the baseball better this year.
Let's do biggest concerns. What's your biggest concern right now for the Guardians?
Even though it's been pretty good overall, although it was terrible against Colorado, my biggest concern is still the depth of the starting rotation.
Yeah.
Because outside of Gavin Williams, there's really nobody else in the minors that can help. I don't trust Curry. Allen's last few starts before the Colorado start were good, but I think he's a back-end starter. Even though he's pitched well overall, I'm nervous about McKenzie. Lively's been great, but I don't know if he can keep it up. The only one I completely trust in the rotation is Bybee, and so I think they're going to need to go get a pitcher. I've mentioned Jesus Luzardo from the Marlins, who since he came back from the injured list has been lights out. I love him. They're willing to trade him. There's other guys in Toronto. There's teams that match up with the Guardians for a trade. The Toronto's a good matchup because Mark Shapiro's there. Obviously, they have that relationship.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest concern.
My concern's tied into yours. Mine is the bullpen.
Right.
They've just got too many miles on the tires already in the season. I think they're first, second, third in terms of relievers, innings pitched.
Yeah.
Our starters aren't going 5-6 innings.
Was mine.
That's going to catch up to you.
Yeah.
That is something that will show itself in June and July When the bullpen gets tired,
Yeah.
they falter. Right now, I think we have the best bullpen in baseball. I hope it stays that way.
You're not getting enough quality starts. You're not getting into after the 5th inning. You're not even getting to the 6th inning. So that's mine for the Guardians.
A couple quickies on the bullpen. I thought it was a good sign that Eli Morgan came off the injured list, and I thought he did a good job out of the pen in that game on Wednesday. And even though their pen is loaded and the best in baseball, I would still, like I mentioned, if they made a trade with the Blue Jays, go get Yimi Garcia, who's their best setup guy. Like he's not, he's a guy that just you put him in the 7th inning, and it's another veteran. They could use a veteran in that pen too.
I should know this, but I don't. Karinchak, what's his timetable?
He's on the 60-day IL.
Yeah, I haven't heard
nothing.
I've heard not a word. They're deep in the bullpen.
Oh yeah,
and we haven't even mentioned Chase Smith.
He's done a great job.
Looks like
Hunter Gaddis, who's been fantastic.
Hunter Gaddis, the bullpen has just been absolutely next level.